Hi, my name is Michelle Ella Powell, and this is the Rainbow Gospel of the 9 Master Energy Signatures. A PDF of this can be found for free on my website, awkwardsinner.com. This is the story of creation, the story of how we, humanity, came to be. It is a gospel, the Rainbow Gospel of the 9 Master Energy Signatures. This is the same story that has been told before. There is no difference. This is the same story Jesus, Mohammed, and Buddha, those who saw high truth, the saints, the enlightened, this is the story they knew and understood. They are each the divine, their highest self, fully realized, fully awakened, fully aware, and balanced, existing in perfect harmony of their innate divine light force energy and their 3D physical form, body, meat suit of flesh. They shared their message with the world, spreading peace, light, and love for those who are ready to receive it, but not all are ready to receive and integrate high truth. The real truth, the original story. The high truth message, that which has never changed, is this, that we are all one. We are all unique expressions of infinite divinity existing within finite physical form and matter. We are first and foremost, though, spiritual, energetic, etheric bodies. Think about your nervous system and billions of moving conscious cells, particles, atoms, quarks. Everything breaks down to the periodic tables, the building blocks of life. We, humanity, consciousness, we are all and everything you see, feel, touch, or taste. We are all equally the same and of the same. We are all of God. We are all divine. We are simply expressed in different forms and ways. All of this, though complex, beautifully crafted, expertly designed life, living for the purpose of love, enjoyment, adventure, creation, and discovery. Life was born out of focused energy, consciously creating. Consciousness is always changing, either expanding or contracting. Consciousness, just like the earth, universe, and our very essence, is always evolving. This is the base message that has been shared over and over, yet due to underdeveloped consciousness and unbalanced energies, this base message gets lost in translation, or worse, weaponized for further destruction through illusions of separation. Michelle will be sharing clarification of the base message, the original story, which has been lost, manipulated, mistranslated, and misunderstood. Though have no doubt the messengers that have come before have all known the same message. Again, consciousness is always changing, either expanding or contracting. Consciousness, just like the earth, universe, and our very essence, is always evolving. Stop looking backwards or trying to hold on to the old baggage. Let go of that which no longer serves you. Everything is always in a state of constant evolutionary movement. Anything stagnant or still begins to die immediately, even while still moving. Your old ways have betrayed you. Your leaders have perverted what was once truth, and the masses have blindly followed. You cannot call yourself a truth seeker if you refuse to let go of falsehood. You cannot call yourself a truth seeker if you resist questioning and deep, honest self-reflection. Evolve or die. Not you, the person, but humanity. We must evolve as a frequency that is high, the collective Christ consciousness, if we desire to save our planet, species, and move into a truly blissful future. It takes eons to develop our Godhead consciousness with such dynamic strategy that we can produce a period of true bliss, age of enlightenment, heaven on earth. We are at the precipice. Many will awaken. Many will spread the message. Though the words and imagery may vary slightly, it is paramount that you heal your emotions and minds so you can properly attune your discernment first within, then without, so you can see the high truth message as it emerges and spreads. Look for common energies, common threads and themes. Find the facts that never change, the heart of the message. Find the common. That is high truth. Those who are able to quickly evolve their ability to see past words and definitions and perceive full energetic messages in totality with unattachment and without limiting beliefs, they will learn and expand the quickest. You must be willing to open. You must be willing to receive, to be teachable, and consider something new or different. Ultimately, you must be willing to sacrifice existing personal truth for intense examination, willing to face grief, loss, and the death of your mental self, aka your lower self, your lower consciousness level. Some call this process ego death. Willing to question self-perception in faith that high truth, true truth, never changes. Therefore, to question high truth brings no death, no pain. High truth simply is and cannot be hurt, rebutted, or changed. So if you think you already know high truth and all the answers to life and death, the before and the after, and if you think you understand who you are and what your purpose is, if you believe your understanding is correct and reliable, then what harm is there in considering something different or new? If you believe you are born of love and light, if you believe you are connected to the divine, then you are perfectly protected by love. So, if you do the internal self-reflective journey and question your deepest held beliefs, there is nothing to fear because high truth never changes. If, however, you are afraid or unable to honestly question your deepest held beliefs, you must ask yourself why. The answer is often fear, self-created fear and doubt in one's ability to trust their innermost self, their innermost knowing. If your understanding of Jesus or any deity or faith head, or your understanding of any religion or spirituality that you align your life with is true truth, then you will never be able to dismantle it. Questioning high truth never affects it, unless it is polluted through an unhealed vessel, in which case it ceases to be real high truth, knows just enough to be dangerous. Corrupted truth or illusions of tainted truth, organized religion. Can your deepest held beliefs stand the fire of question and challenge? Can your personal truths be unraveled? You must find out for yourself. You must. No one else can tell you or answer this for you. And as long as you are going by what other people say, including me, or what other books have said, then you are giving up your right to sovereignty. You are choosing to follow because it is easier than being someone who paves the way, a leader. This is the second coming of Christ, as many call it. It is the Christ consciousness awakening in millions and many across the globe in hopes to tell the story once again loud enough so the whole earth can move collectively to a new age of peace. This is what the messengers have been trying to say since the beginning. Many who think they understand Christ consciousness do not. High truth number 1. You don't know what you don't know yet. You don't know what you don't know yet. Those who cannot see the light do not know they cannot see it. Those who do not know the truth do not know that they do not know it. This is why people default to closing off, shutting down, or resistance. It is lack of understanding which creates restriction and fear. The answers to most high truth are always open, acceptance, love, and light. This is where hope, faith, trust, and belief come into play. Learning to find the light within yourself and not giving up until you find what you're looking for, your true identity. Understanding also that there is a pathway of acceptance and understanding for anything. Acceptance is not the same thing as agreement, nor is understanding. Just because you accept something, just because you understand it, does not mean that you agree with it. High truth number 2, know thyself. You must ask yourself over and over throughout your life with raw vulnerability and honest self-reflection, who am I really? Go within and see for yourself. You are conscious, dynamic light energy expressing itself in physical form governed by 9 dominant energies. Though some may see 3 or 6 or even 12, this is all the same and one, like seeing through a different fractal. You are light, conscious, self-aware light. That light is your life force energy. You are of love. Think frequency, energy, not fluctuating emotion. You are enlightened or in nirvana or existing as your divine highest self or God in true God state nature when your 9 dominant conscious energies are perfectly balanced. This is the Trinity. This is the perfect union of body, mind, and spirit. This is what we are trying to awaken and achieve in each and as many as we can. When you ask yourself with honest self-reflection, not satisfied to not know who am I, you must sort out the old, the bad, the negative. That which you no longer prefer, by facing it, accepting it as unbiased truth with no emotional attachment or expectation to outcome. Often you must first process if emotion is deeply embedded. Healing is energy transmutation. Everyone can do it, but there are understandings that must happen, and not all can receive or face their truth. Despite what is written even here, this answer you must find from within. The answers may vary from person to person, but as you ask this question of your innermost self, chasing light and love within, the more healed you get in your body, mind, and emotions. And as you heal your emotional wounds and remove mental blocks, you will see much more clearly. As you heal, the better you will understand this high truth that Jesus, Buddha, and many others have understood. It is okay if your answers change and grows over time. Not all can accept high truth in totality all at once. The measure of success lies in your ability to evolve mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and in all areas of your being. Progress over perfection, honesty, vulnerability, willingness to let go of that which no longer serves your highest good, balanced with the highest good of humanity. Willingness to see who you are today and who you'd like to be, and then little by little, day by day, doing the work. Compare yourself to no one but the you of yesterday. What is my purpose? What is your purpose? You must go within, self-reflecting again, not stopping until you find the answer. As you evolve spiritually, you may find your answers changes, just like with your identity. It will evolve. That is okay. Do no harm as best as able with sense and reasonability. Seek balance in all. Find alignment within by discovery and chasing your highest passions. When you truly get to acceptance of high truth, many will find, like Michelle, that their greatest purpose is to share these truths once again with the world, the messengers of God. Michelle is a messenger of God. High truth number 3. Every time you pass judgment in your heart, no, this is wrong, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. Every time you reject from a place that creates exclusion, a place opposite of love and acceptance, you miss the mark. Making a judgment of the heart is different than making a judgment of the mind. You must learn and understand the complex differences between your body and the way it communicates both internally and externally. Many out there today are saying only God judges, when they themselves are daily pointing fingers, assigning judgment and blame to all the acts of others without ever going within. They do not realize what they do. This is so many. This is the mass majority of those who flock divided segregations of sects of so-called faith-based establishments. Anyone that preaches exclusion, division, or hell as punishment is not of us. Us as the dynamic, complex, true, omnipresent, infinite Godhead of high truth, the Alpha, the Omega, and all the other words that have attempted to describe that which cannot be named. Again, anyone that preaches hell as punishment is not of God and is not of God's love. Honest self-reflection is paramount to be able to distinguish actual truth. Honest self-reflection is the key to your clarity and your discernment. Why do you do and say the things you say and do? What do you believe and why? When you realize the problem lies within, you realize you have full power to make corrections. Humanity as you know it is still so vastly under-evolved, meaning we lack the understanding and communication skills and language to properly explain all of the high truths. Words do not do justice when attempting to explain the mind or essence of God and the Godhead. So much is lost in translation, so much, time and time again. The messengers deliver the message over and over to many, spread throughout every generation, but over time the high truth gets distorted, corrupted, and ultimately lost. The original story of creation. The original story of creation is a story of balance and how it fell out. There was nothing. There was no void, no space, just true absolute nothing. No God, no devil, no sin, just true nothing. This is the true state of everything, all and nothing as one, existence and non-existence simultaneously. There are not words in the English language yet that can communicate this particular truth to full comprehension for most. However, there are those who have seen and felt this truth who can confirm. Universal life cycle. The universal life cycle is the cycle of expansion and contraction that all energy experiences and the birth and death of a complete universe. In the beginning of this particular universal life cycle, the first steps of creation were born into existence through an explosion of energy. First, soundless pressure waves, followed by light and sound. In that exact moment, you could say God, or divinity as we understand it, birthed itself from nothingness into existence. This is also known as the Big Bang. There was nothing, no God, no bad guy, true nothing. Then, soundless pressure waves came first. These soundless pressure waves carried the lowest known source, lowest known consciousness, out and forward to lay the groundwork or framework for what humans are now viewing as the quantum field. Many civilizations have had different names for this field or space. Human understanding again fails, but we try to convey what we can to those who are able to listen. The first waves that laid the quantum field also put into place the primary natural laws concerning things like magnetism, velocity, and all the laws of mathematics and energy principles. Mathematics still can't explain it all, but soon, mathematics, science, and spirituality will find their equilibrium and see how they complement one another, not compete. White light. White light is a prism that speaks inclusion. A prism that creates pure white light only when in total balance, where all colors are equally represented. Purification is in true balance and equality, not stripping and restricting and emptying. White light is not singular, it is plural and dynamic. Then waves came again, which sparked the first light, initial light. This time, intelligent sound waves came carrying the message of light, and light was created. When light was created, it was never white as a singular or solitary color. Brilliant, dynamic light was born in the formless form of 9 unique, dynamic energy signatures, each with unique frequency and energetic characteristics and identifiers, which evolved too over time. When creation was sparked into existence, sound went out carrying the message of light, the soundless pressure waves. The light that was spoken into first existence at the point of creation was actually 9 master energy signatures, which are perceived as white light when balanced and properly represented. These conscious, intelligent 9 master energy signatures are what we call God or the Godhead, or life force, prana, or chi. That which is in our breath, that which fills our lungs and pumps our blood. These intelligent 9 master energy signatures are that which weaved the world as we know it today and many worlds before. The way in which they bend, blend, and flow together is like an artist painting a masterpiece. Unless you have seen it in full, you cannot comprehend. Once you have seen it, you understand. Not all will see it. Not all will understand. They are us, our divine self, our life force. 9 went out, unique dynamic energies. Still, there was no devil, no bad guy, no enemy. Each unique energy signature was carried by its own distinguishing characteristic or energetic dynamics. Each is its own frequency, each with attributes that developed and multiplied over time. The 9 went out to carry the message being, we are light. We are creation experiencing itself. Go create and exist and experience. This message was carried by the 9 energy signatures who worked and weaved to build our cells, the molecules, the planets, the solar systems, the earth, and every single plant and tree and animal. Each of the 9 master energy signatures is infinite God expressing itself as a unique, finite expression of frequency. To create life as humanity understands it, we, the 9, had to follow the first principles of energy and the quantum field as laid by the first waves, as those were the first building blocks of the cosmos which led to Earth and human existence. This is where we find the original existence of base duality, positive and negative, push and pull, in the first wave that laid the quantum groundwork. Building from within the quantum structure, the 9, the Rainbow 9, work to create laws and principles, creating categories and labels to build slowly and with meticulous, complex intelligence. The dynamics of all that is seen now was created. The synergistic principles of energy dynamics, the way things magnetize, polarize, and the exponential nature gave birth to more frameworks, slowly growing the earth and all that you know, like a seed. The 9 were in perfect harmony and balance, one in perfect union, like many think of as the Holy Trinity. The Godhead consciousness and complex dynamics continued to grow and expand, birthing all of the later energies, complex combinations of alternating and repeating energies, weaving to create tapestries of new dynamic energies. Think the elemental tables, deities, the gods of mass religions. Everything was perfect, though, and balanced. Not the mass religions. There came a point, because consciousness evolves and expands. There came a point when one of the 9 master energy signatures became aware of the separation and difference of the others. The first moment the first of the 9 master energies realized and awakened to the knowledge, I am different, they are different, we are different. This is the birth of separation in its toxic form. It was, we are one, we are the same, we are perfect, equal flavors of divinity in perfect union. Then it was, we are one, wait, I am unique, I am different, wait, they are not me. We are not the same. In that moment, the pendulum of universal energy swung out of balance. Separation from God as an idea was born in the energy we now refer to as fear. Jealousy, envy, there are many strains all linked and born of separation. The vast progress and amount of overall good that had been created, including the planet Earth, was born out of perfect harmony and balance of the unified Godhead of the 9 master energy signatures and all the flavors of creation. When the pendulum swung out of balance and fear, this is not even the truest name, but it is the best identifier for this purpose and time. Fear became aware of and focused on the difference. The same quantum principle of the universe still worked, and dark or negative begot dark and negative. As with all things, exponential growth occurred. In the unseen, beyond human understanding, fear, jealousy, and envy focused on separation and attacked what I will call love. Again, this is not the actual name, but it is best for identifying for now. Fear tried to snuff out love, and balance was broken. The whole of the universe shifted in that moment, and the effects rippled throughout eternity. This is the first and only great sin or offense, when the Godhead turned on itself. This is the origin of the original sin ideology. This is the truth linked to the Garden of Eden and the revelation of knowledge. The story is vastly misunderstood. That is part 1. I wrote that in one big chunk. Now I'm switching to part 2. Part 2, the Garden of Eden. You and I here living today in 2025, we see the world differently than the first conscious humans or even the first conscious beings. You must be able to understand dynamic perspectives if you are to understand these high truths. We see separated categories, divisions, think even materials, plants, shapes even. However, in the beginning, when the first energies that built Earth were building, the 9 master energy signatures and their descendants are concoctions. They did not know or think in terms of separation like we humans do in 2025. Have you ever just simply done something automatically the first time, like you innately knew what you were going to do without giving it any thought, attention, or effort? This is that energy of the 9, the first builders. So as Earth was created, it was simply created, built, and cultivated over millennia organically. It was born of natural flow. Much in the same way an artist creates an inspired, unique piece of art for the very first time, without thought or judgment, simply following the energies of "this feels right," until they stand back and look and see a masterpiece. This is how the Earth was created originally, without thought, without judgment. At no point did any of the dynamic energies or 9 master energies that created Earth ever think we are different or one is better. These type of energetic sentiments simply did not exist yet. Again, remember, The way in which you and I think as humans in 2025, this did not exist originally. It did not exist at the time of creation, and you must see from outside your personal human filter or lens. You must see from a bigger perspective. As humans evolved and as conscious awareness continued to evolve and expand, as it is always doing, there came a point in time during the first evolutionary beings existed, where conscious development evolved to understand there exists separation. Prior to this moment in time, the concept or idea of separation did not exist, but in this moment, in this instance, there was no concept of separation, and then there was. As the epiphany of separation, as an idea or thought was born in consciousness, the beings that existed were first in marvel, awe, appreciation. There was a time of, wow, look at the beautiful ways in which we are separated and different. A time of celebration of the recognition of diversity that always existed but was not yet known or understood to human consciousness. However, the season of celebration was brief. It did not take long for the knowledge of separation to turn dark. All human beings, all beings, are divine expressions of life force energy, divine expressions of God as living gods. Once separation came into awareness, duality in conscious awareness was born. Previously, all was one. All was dynamic and complex and yet still one. It did not take long before the conscious realization of separation began to divide the mind of the first beings. This is the birth of what we call ego or flesh. They turned against themselves within their own minds first. Confusion and frustration were born. They did not exist as concepts or energies before. As the first being's own mind began to integrate the new conscious concept of separation, as confusion and frustration were born in mind, so then too came the birth of yours versus mine, or good versus bad, or better or worse. These concepts did not exist before, and they were manifested or birthed through the conscious evolution of the first beings. It must be stated that there still was no bad guy, no evil force doing bad things. There was all as one. There was light, and the first unified energies were sent out. There was light and dark. Dark is not inherently bad. There was creation, life force, inspiration. There was earth. Then there were the first beings living in harmony. Do not misunderstand harmony for peace. Do not think there was no death or sickness. These things are a natural part of universal creation and conscious awakening. Life and death are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other. Neither are good or bad. They simply are. Do not think in simple terms of a human's lifetime. Think in terms of the lifetime of a planet or galaxy. Do not try to filter cosmic or divine truth through a human lens. If you cannot detach from your temporary, finite human experience and expand your mind, you will not be able to grasp these complex concepts. These complex concepts are meant to help sort human misunderstanding of good, bad, right, wrong. We must heal our collective judgment wounds. Within the first beings, these energies and ideas and feelings were born. Confusion, frustration, yours, theirs, mine, good, bad, better, worse. It is imperative that people see these concepts did not exist beforehand and no external evil brought them about. Much in the same way you, a human living in 2025, can have a aha moment of epiphany. Oh my gosh! This is how these energies came to be. Again, in the same way that a first idea always starts somewhere, the first ideas relating to greed, jealousy, and hatred were born into the minds of the first beings through their own self-revelation and conscious awareness and development. These things and what humans consider evil, these are not indicators of a devil or an external evil entity. These things are simply indicators of a young, unevolved species with beginning levels of conscious awareness and lack of emotional intelligence. When the first murder occurred, it was born of impulse. Premeditation came later. Still, no bad guy existed. There was no one to blame. However, the birth of separation ideology did birth the ego, which is again not bad, but part of the organic evolution. The shift out of balance. The shift out of balance. The thoughts and actions that began to happen with the first beings did cultivate energies that began to push the all of the all out of balance. As more emotionally immature beings made impulsive and immature choices from those energies of greed and jealousy, they shifted the universal balance of all energies into the direction of called selfish, harmful, divisive. They were not driven by a devil or evil. In fact, they were driven by the same life force energy of creation itself, driven by the only God energy that does exist. But the energy was now filtering through an advanced level of conscious development through human mind and thought and through the newly created ego, simply the sense of awareness that I am separate or I am separate from you. The all, the all is all, or the all is one understanding and knowledge faded and was lost to many, pushed out by organic evolutionary forces. Light attracts light, dark attracts dark. The less preferable or less desirable energies such as greed and jealousy were newly birthed, not well understood, and taking off with enormous force. Synergy works in all the ways. The universe has existed many times. There have been many planets, many species. There is nothing new under the sun in the grandest sense of it all. The development of ego and self-awareness and growth of humanity often takes this turn where separation causes division, but yet growth also comes. Industrialization is an example. The development of the ego is not inherently all negative or bad. Fear has kept many safe and extends life. The development of the concepts of good and bad, yours and mine, better or worse, these are the concepts that became toxic and have corrupted this earth, its inhabitants, and all the reigning energies. If you need a devil or a bad guy to blame, it is the belief in concepts like good and bad, right and wrong, yours and mine. Rarely in life are there things that all people would 100% agree on in terms of good or bad or right or wrong. Common sense does not exist, and it is foolish to think of sense of self as common. It is anything but. For the sake of this writing, if you need a devil or a demon or a bad guy, it is these concepts, and we shall call them toxic energies, toxic thoughts, toxic mindsets, toxic as in harmful to humanity and the success of the human race as it exists today. If you still really need a bad guy to blame, go look in the mirror. The birth of yours and mine, right and wrong, good and bad, this is like the creation of Satan or Lucifer. Basically, an idea was born to assign fault and blame. Again, concepts of fault and blame did not exist previously, not in the way we today would think of or understand. All of the stories of the various religions are human attempts to explain or understand what has just been written, what I have just said. The story has never changed. This is the story Jesus understood well. It is our hope that Michelle can articulate this in such a way as to have a significant impact on refocusing spiritual understanding of such things. I think this part is done. There are other notes that are in the written printed PDF that's on my website, but for the sake of, I've been reading forever, and I've never done anything like this, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. May you be blessed. I hope this resonates. Take what resonates, leave the rest. And so it is.